You're not going to believe what just came out of Baltimore. After days of silence and plenty of concern, John Harbaugh finally broke his silence on Lamar Jackson's return. And what he said completely changes the vibe heading into Week 1. Number 8 is back on the field. But here's the question. Is he really ready to carry this team right out of the gate? What Harbaugh revealed has Ravens fans fired up. But at the same time, it raises new questions about what to expect in that massive opener against the Bills. After missing practice time with that foot injury, Lamar Jackson stepped back onto the field, and the entire vibe shifted instantly. He's the face of the franchise, the guy who changes everything when he's healthy. So every single movement he makes gets put under the microscope. And right away, he looked loose, confident, and most importantly, ready to lead this offense without any real limitations. Harbaugh didn't hide his excitement either. Talking about his quarterback, he kept it short and clear. He looked good. Sounds simple, right? But coming from Harbaugh, a coach who usually chooses his words carefully, that's basically confirmation that Lamar's recovery is right on track. That's the kind of update that changes the mood in the locker room, boosts teammates' confidence, and calms down fans who've been holding their breath. Getting back on the practice field also means rhythm. Practice isn't the same as game day, but it's where chemistry with receivers, timing, and decision-making start to click again. Every rep matters for Lamar right now, especially with less than 2 weeks before the season opener against a team that's going to test him on every snap. Being out there now is way more valuable than sitting on the sidelines resting. And there's the mental side. When your superstar steps on the field and shows he's ready, the whole team feeds off that. The offense gets energized, the defense knows they'll have points to work with, and even the backups raise their game, because everyone senses this team is gearing up at full strength. Lamar didn't just bring his talent back. He brought belief. And all of this comes at the perfect time, because Week 1 isn't just another game. It's a primetime showdown with the Buffalo Bills. The NFL schedule didn't do the Ravens any favors. Right out of the gate, it's the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. And that's not just an opener. That's a playoff-level matchup. 2 loaded rosters. 2 teams with sky-high expectations. And all of it under the bright lights of primetime. This isn't just Week 1. It's a statement game. Here's what stands out. The Ravens just finished an undefeated preseason. Now, sure, preseason wins don't go in the official standings. But you know what they do build? Confidence. And confidence is exactly what you want heading into a clash with a team as tough as Buffalo. Keeping that momentum rolling in a game where every play will be magnified could set the tone for the entire season. Buffalo's defense is known for making life miserable for quarterbacks. That's why Lamar's return to practice this week is huge. His ability to move, improvise, and turn broken plays into first downs is exactly the kind of weapon you need against a disciplined defense. Him being out there sends a loud message. Baltimore is coming in at full strength. This opener isn't just a test for the Ravens. It's also a message to the rest of the league. Beating the Bills on national TV would prove this team is ready to go toe-to-toe with anyone in the AFC. A loss might not ruin anything long-term, but a win, that would be massive. And leading the charge is John Harbaugh, the man who has to turn all this potential into results. There aren't many coaches in the NFL who last as long as John Harbaugh has. Since 2008, he's built a rock-solid career in Baltimore, complete with Super Bowl ring and consistently competitive seasons. But longevity also brings new expectations. Heading into year 18, Harbaugh isn't just proving he's a good coach. He's got to show he can take this team back to the very top. The interesting thing is, he might have his best roster ever in 2025. There's depth across the board, the right mix of youth and veterans, and playmakers capable of flipping a game in an instant. That increases the chances of success, but it also raises the pressure. If this roster can't take the next step, then when will it? That's the question hanging over everything. His relationship with Lamar is at the center of it all. Harbaugh has always trusted him, always tailored the system to maximize Lamar's unique skills. Now, with new weapons on offense and a defense that's still strong, it's on Harbaugh to balance everything and turn potential into trophies. His experience gives him an edge, but the demand for something bigger has never been louder. This season could define Harbaugh's legacy. A deep playoff run, maybe even a trip to the Super Bowl would cement his place among the best. But once again, it all comes down to whether Baltimore can finally break through the barrier that stopped them in January year after year. Getting to the playoffs hasn't been the issue. Lamar has led the Ravens to multiple postseason appearances, AFC North titles, and some memorable wins. The problem is going deeper, turning those solid regular seasons into real playoff success. Too often, something derails them. Injuries, untimely mistakes, or just not playing up to their own standard when it matters most. That story hangs heavy over franchise. Every year, Baltimore comes in with high expectations, but January ends in disappointment. That's why Lamar's return means so much. It's almost impossible to imagine this team making a run without him at his best. Being healthy right from the start is step one in rewriting that script. But breaking through takes more than talent. It takes a mindset. The team has to believe they can win on the biggest stage, and that belief is built now, in August and September, with every practice and every regular season game. It's about building an identity that can carry into January. That's why Lamar's return is about more than stats or wins. It's about keeping alive the bigger plan. The Ravens don't just want to reach the playoffs. They want to win in the playoffs. And no one carries more weight in that mission than Lamar himself. The MVP, the record setter, the superstar who's still chasing that one piece missing from his legacy.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video. But before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Individually, Lamar Jackson has done it all. 2 MVP awards, records that defy logic, and a reputation as one of the most electrifying quarterbacks the league has ever seen. He changed the way people look at the position, proving he can beat you with his arm or his legs. But even with all that, there's still one box unchecked, the one that separates great from legendary, a Super Bowl. And that pressure doesn't just come from the media. It comes from a narrative that's followed Lamar since he exploded onto the scene. He's carried this team through entire seasons, pulled off jaw-dropping wins, and been the most dynamic player on the field. But until he hoists the Lombardi trophy, the question will always linger. Can he finish the job? That's the standard every elite quarterback faces, and Lamar is no exception. That's why seeing him healthy and back at practice means so much. It's not just reassurance that the foot injury won't hold him back. It's a sign he's ready to go on another run at glory. Every rep, every adjustment, every snap in practice is about sharpening himself for the ultimate goal. His legacy won't be written in stats alone. It'll be about the mark he leaves on the game when it's all said and done. And nothing would cement that legacy more than a championship. That's exactly why the Ravens built this roster the way they did, especially on offense, which might just be one of the most dangerous units in the NFL this year. In past years, critics pointed at Lamar's supporting cast as a weak link. Not this time. Baltimore built an offense that's balanced, versatile, and flat-out scary. Adding Derrick Henry to the backfield changes everything. He's the kind of bruising back who wears defenses down from the first snap to the last. Having a weapon like that shifts how opponents have to game plan. But it doesn't stop there. The wide receiver room is stronger too. Rashad Bateman, finally healthy, has the tools to be a steady target, while Zay Flowers is blossoming into a dangerous playmaker who can turn a short pass into a long touchdown. That mix of reliability and explosiveness gives Lamar options he's never really had at this level. And then you look at the tight ends. Mark Andrews is already one of the best in the league, a go-to guy in clutch moments. But Isaiah likely has proven he's not just a backup. He's a weapon in his own right. Together, they form one of the top tight end duos in football, and defenses can't cover everybody. Someone's always going to get open. This offense has the potential to be one of the most explosive in the NFL, and if they find consistency, it could be the missing piece that turns strong seasons into championship runs. With a roster this stacked and a superstar like Lamar leading the way, there's really only one goal left: the Super Bowl. For the first time in years, it feels like the Ravens have everything lined up to make a legitimate run. Depth across the roster, weapons all over the field, and a defense tough enough to hang with anyone. The Super Bowl isn't just a dream anymore. It's a realistic target for 2025. The path won't be easy. The AFC is loaded with elite quarterbacks and powerhouse teams all chasing the same prize. But Baltimore knows that with Lamar healthy, they've always got a chance. He's the kind of player who can flip a game on its head all by himself. And in NFL, those are the guys who change history. What's different this year is the mindset. This team doesn't just seem focused on winning games, but on building the identity of a champion. That starts with Harbaugh's leadership, flows through Lamar's example, and spreads across the locker room. When everyone buys in like that, the group becomes much tougher to beat. That's why the Ravens head into 2025 with more anticipation than ever. They know this window can't be wasted. With the roster set, the coach experienced, and their superstar quarterback ready to shine, the goal is crystal clear: reach the Super Bowl and bring Baltimore back to the top of the NFL. Lamar Jackson is back, and John Harbaugh made it clear his quarterback looks sharp in practice. Now, expectations are through the roof. Baltimore's got depth, weapons, and a coach who understands exactly how important this moment is. Everything points to a season where the Ravens can finally break through the playoff wall and turn all this talent into a real championship run. So here's the question. Is this the year Lamar and the Ravens finally get done? That answer starts in Week 1 against the Bills, a matchup that could set the tone for everything that follows. One thing's for sure. With number 8 healthy and locked in, the Ravens are heading into 2025 with one goal, and one goal only: get back to the top of the NFL.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.